Hey, loves, welcome back to Day Spills Tea. I, of course, am the lovely Day. And this afternoon, I want to talk to you about Ready to Love Potomac, Friday's episode. And we got LaVerne is saying that Ace is all this and all that, but then he met the bootylicious Carmen, and all of a sudden, she's the one. Like, really, what do you want? And is this like the norm for men? Like, y'all be on some BS, quite frankly. Anyways, before we get into all of my review and recap of the episode, go ahead and do all the stuff that you are responsible to do. Let me put it up there. Like the video, like it before I start talking about your faves, and then you decide that you don't like it. Make sure you leave some comments down below. What do you think really about LaVerne talking about Ace is peace, Ace is the ultimate, but then seeing that Carmen with the blue eyes is the one? Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. And for those of you who are already subscribed, thank you so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. You know I love you so. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode starts out with this big brunch date. So they're all at brunch. And Tiffany is really, really interested in Wiley. So she is, putting on all the wows and everything, trying to flirt with Wiley. And I was immediately kind of feeling like Wiley's body language is not really showing interest. Later, he said he was interested in her, but I really, really, really wasn't seeing it. So Dakia comes up and talks to them and kind of uncovers the fact that he is Chuck Brown's son. And so for those of you who don't know, Chuck Brown is basically like the inventor of go-go. So like if you live in the DMV, I know you know about go-go music. And if you know anybody from the DMV, I'm sure you know about go-go music. And I'm sure you know who Chuck Brown is. But anyway, so Dakia immediately recognized him, and Tiffany was like low-key hated. Like she was so annoyed by the very existence of Dakia. And I feel like Dakia is one to watch out for, because I feel like Dakia could have pretty much any man she wants. I honestly do. I think she's beautiful. She's shapely. She's smart. She's funny. Like she seems to be like the total package. And she seems to be the kind of woman who is happy to lend herself to like her man. I don't know why I feel that way. That's just what I think. I see the way she interacts with the men, and I think she could have either one of them if she wanted them. So she starts flirting with Wiley, and like Tiffany is like staring daggers at her. And then he's all like reaching, touching her hand under the table and all of that. And then when production showed them leaving together holding hands, I was like, they so shady. And Tiffany was like seriously giving us Camille from Ready to Love DC vibes. Like she really thought she was putting a claim on this man like from day one. And it just really didn't work out that way. Anyway, so Tommy arrives and he lets everybody know that two more singles are joining, and they are going to be introduced by way of blind date. So he selected one male and one female to go on these blind dates. So he selected LaVerne and Ace. I thought it was so cute that Clifton was like, I'm jealous. Like, somebody's going on a date with Ace. I didn't get to go on a date with Ace. What about me? I think he is so funny and so charming. And I am still team Clifton and Joy. I'm kind of hoping that that ends up being a thing. So, as Sabrina is telling Ace, what she wants her to do on her blind date, LaVerne is all like, Ace is peace. Ace is everything. Ace, I mean, this is from the very beginning of the episode. He's just talking about how amazing Ace is. But I guess maybe because she isn't built a certain way, it feels like she's immediately friend zoned. Like, you're a good woman. You got everything I want in a woman, but not the physical. So, friend zone. And it's just like, that's so, so unfortunate. Like, obviously, I feel like Ace will find something that's right for her. Maybe on this show, maybe not. Like, I don't think she's experiencing any shortage of men who would be interested in her. But it just really, really annoys me that he was singing her praises about all the intangibles, but it seems like he's counting her out just based on the physical. And I think last week I said something about him being a little full of himself, but he not really all that. I still feel the same. So, Tommy also lets us know that the fellas are going to be voting this week. So we know that one of these beautiful ladies is going to be leaving us. And last week it was obvious that it was going to be. But this week I was kind of like, let's see. Anyway, so Precious is going around and she's flirting with Demetrius, and she actually asked him out, which I was impressed by that. I haven't really ever been single. I've been married pretty much all my adult life, but I don't imagine that I would ever have the nerve to ask a man out. I saw a post on Facebook a couple of days ago of a woman who asked a man out to breakfast. I should have screenshot it so I can share it with y'all. She asked the man out to breakfast. He agreed. The next morning, she texts him like, "Hey, I'm getting us a table," and he's like, "Oh, I just woke up," and she's like, "Well, I'm about to eat." He's like, "Okay, cool. Hit me up when you're done." That could not be me. Like, I don't. The way my ego is set up, do you know how crushed I would be if I invited some man out on a date and he stood me up? Anyways, so kudos to Precious that she asked Demetrius out. I'm sure she won't be the last female to ask Demetrius out. But do you ladies ask men out? Like, for real, for real? Like, are you comfortable and confident in doing that? If you are, like, much respect to you, because I could never. Anyways, so on LaVerne's blind date, he is going out with Carmen. So Carmen is introduced and she is body yaddy yaddy. And I did not notice the context until Clifton said something about it later in the episode. But yes, sis is wearing these blue contacts, which she is well within her rights to do. She's talking, saying that she doesn't know how to flirt. Girl, yes, you do. Because she was sitting there flirting with LaVerne and they were really, really jiving. Like, they had a really, really nice chemistry. It was honestly fun to watch. And usually, when I'm saying they're jiving and they had a really good chemistry, it usually means that she's doing her thing and he's getting aroused. That's usually what I mean when I say that. And that's exactly what it seemed like was happening. So he brags on himself a little bit. It seemed like he was kind of trying to like compete with her a little bit. And I love that she called him on it. Like, okay, everything I say, you say, like, are we competing? She even talked about how she liked to work out. And he's like, well, I used to compete. I used to be a bodybuilder. So he stands up and shows his little butt. And so she squeezes it for him and all of that. And I'm like, girl, don't you be sitting up here talking about you don't know how to flirt. Because you are very good at flirting. But he is like right away, like she's the one. Like, you can tell that he's like, oh yeah, I want that. I absolutely want that. So then we see Ace is on a blind date and we are introduced to Cornelius. This Cornelius is not like Cornelius of last season. He is a big, tall teddy bear with this beautiful, beautiful golden voice. And he just kind of like exudes kindness. Don't tell my husband this, but he reminds me so much of my husband. Like, he's a big, big guy, but he just exudes this level of confidence and kindness. And it's such a wonderful blend. I honestly felt like him and Ace were kind of like a cool pair to watch because she's so calm and cool and balanced. And he seems like he's that way too. So he's a realtor and a real estate investor. And he was like, people think $1 million is a lot. And then once you get it, you're like, it ain't much at all. Listen, this is why we need for OWN Network to be giving us more of the actual Black excellence. Like, these folks who are making it, who are experiencing this success, let them tell us how. Let them put us up on game. Like, don't make it all about the drama. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, watch the video I posted earlier about Kiana Watson and Black excellence from Ladies Who List. But anyway, so they sit and they have a nice little conversation. And they seem to be like a good little pair. I feel like both Carmen and Cornelius will be great additions to the bunch. I could see several of the other ladies being interested in Cornelius, and I could definitely see some of the guys feeling Carmen just because, as LaVerne said, she's thicker than a snicker. And that's what he was mostly concerned about. But I did love too that at the end of Ace and Cornelius's date, they exchanged phone numbers, so they will definitely be hanging out again. So then we see Joy is going out with Paul. She just kind of wants to give him a chance. I really see this as just gameplay. Like, she knows that she has to connect with multiple guys in order for her to stay in the game, so to speak. That's fine. I know she's not interested in that guy. And then Clifton asks Dakia out on a date. And I see this is gameplay too, because I don't think for a second that he is interested really in anything but joy at this point. Like I think he sees a lot of the other women as attractive and he probably enjoys spending time with Dakia. But again, we already know from prior seasons that they all have to make these additional connections that they really aren't interested in order to have people voting for them when it comes down to sending somebody home. So he and Takia are killing are chilling. They both have this sexual chemistry that is clear and present. And they talk about the importance of premarital sex, which I thought was funny. That is like why they feel like they got to put that out on the table. But I guess if it's important, it's important. So you got to discuss it. Anyway, so then at the end of their date, he hugs her and picks her up. And I was thinking to myself, like, he is not playing fair. Cause y'all know we like to feel y'all being strong. Y'all know we like to know you could pick us up even when we thick. So I am sure that that hug and picking her up at the same time thing, I'm sure it kind of, got him some extra points with Dakia. Then we have Paul, Cornelius, Sabrina, and Tiffany go out on a group date and they're playing ping pong. Precious shows up, and the other lady seemed a little put off for a second. And by the other ladies, I'm mainly talking about Tiffany. Like Sabrina seems to kind of just do her own thing. Um, but Tiffany is she's what we would call pressed. I hate to say it. She seems a little bit pressed, a little bit high strung, and kind of always stressed. Relax, sis. Relax. Um, so Precious comes in and she has the nerve. Girl, why you lie? She gonna go up to Paul and tell him she's had her eye on him. Girl, you did not have your eye on him. We all know you have not had your eye on Paul. You thought Paul was goofy and immature, going around calling himself PO. But again, gotta forge these relationships. Gotta have guys saying that they want you to stay around. So I see you, girl. So then Tiffany and Cornelius are talking, and she asked him about looking for a wife and is he interested in marriage and so on and so forth. And he gave her an honest answer. He's like, we can call it what you want to. And I get it. Not everybody believes in the conventional confines of marriage. Everybody doesn't think that it needs to be constructed in exactly the same way. So he's just like, we can call it whatever you want it to be. Like, but it sounded to me like he's saying that he does want to be in a commitment. It sounds like he does want to be in a monogamous relationship. We know that he wants kids, but he didn't give her the exact answer that she wanted. And she just kind of, she just kind of wasn't cool. She just was pressed is the best way that I can describe it. So Paul tried to talk with her and she was obviously like turned off by Paul. Paul was turned off by her. Like she just yeah, she just isn't she just wasn't very pleasant to be around. And I'm just thinking like if you're dating, like all of these are supposed to be dates. If you're dating, like bring something, be pleasant, be someone that people want to be around. And I just don't see that for her. But maybe it's because she didn't really like any of these guys. I don't know. Then Carmen, Joy, Ace, Clifton, and Tori go on a group date. And this one was pretty good to me. Clifton is like he saw Carmen and he saw the body yaddy yaddy, and then he saw the contacts and he was like, no. And at that point is when I realized, oh my gosh, she is wearing blue contacts, because before I didn't really see them. Like I didn't really notice them on her date with LaVerne. And when I went back and watched it, she was absolutely wearing them then too. Not gonna judge you. Obviously not my thing. But yeah, I don't know. And obviously not Clifton's thing. And I think for him at that point, it was just like there's no interest. Like I'll be nice, I'll be flirtatious, I'll have fun, but I don't think there was any interest there. So they're at like a simulated golf gaming type thing. And she's playing and she's flirting with him and tells him to hold her hair. And I was like, she gonna kill him. And he's stupid because why you gonna go stand behind somebody and hold their hair while they swing a golf club? Like all the flirting and big booty in the world ain't gonna make me stand behind some woman while she's swinging a golf club. And like if you watch it, she's showing up almost hit him. And he's like, I'm like, this is real stupid. Um, so Joy is walking around in this black jumpsuit, and she about to drive poor Tori out of his mind. Like Tori is stressed. Tori is like, he can't take it. Looking at this gorgeous woman who is in shape in this jumpsuit. And so he starts flirting, and they're playing foosball. And Tori is asking her, how important is sex? She says, very. He says, something about, do you like to get your kidneys touched? Bro, no. I'm sorry. The internet has convinced y'all that you got to be, a horse and all of this and everything in order for women to like you. Most of us don't want all of that. We don't want to mess stuff up. Women have enough complications as it is. We don't need that type of drama. I'm sorry. I don't know a good way to say this. But yeah, we don't need that type of drama in our lives. Okay. We don't need anything to be broken or shifted or tilted or messed up. Okay. So no, she doesn't want her kidneys touched. And then he's like, well, I know how to take my time or whatever. And I think at that point she's just like, no, like you're not about to kill me with that. Whatever you got going on down there, you're not about to kill me with it. Anyways, the whole rest of the time though, you could just see that Tori is like he, honey, he could break something right now with her in this jumpsuit. Okay. Um, so then Clifton starts having some conversation with Carmen, and Ace is sitting there, and Ace gets up and just walks off by herself. Oh my God, I loved that Clifton got and went and checked on her. Like it was so nice and such a sensitive thing that he even noticed that she went off on her own. So I really, really like Clifton. So then later, he and Joy kind of reconnect. They doing their little flirting thing. And she's like, I wasn't worried. Thank you. Can we show that we don't have to be pressed? Can we show that we know when the man is ours and when he's not? Okay. And ladies, those of you who are still single and dating and all of that, if you have to be pressed about him looking at other women or being interested in other women, understand that if you worried about it, chances are he's giving you reason to be, and he's not stuck on you. Like, honestly, just honestly. Like if you have to worry about him being out of your sight, leading to him being interested in someone else, that means that he's just not that stuck on you. And there's nothing you could do to make him. Honestly. So I love that Joy was like, I wasn't worried. Like, I know you're coming back home. And if he weren't, I think that Joy is the type that would just be fine and move on. Like, not a whole lot has been invested here to where I have to be pressed and worried about you talking to the other women here at this event, Camille. Anywho, moving right along. So we get to the men's lounge, and Tommy is asking the fellas who they are feeling. I'm looking at my notes. LaVerne says Carmen could be it. She could be the one. Whatever. Like, LaVerne, why are you friend zoning Ace after saying so many wonderful things about her because you didn't see Carmen come in and she got booty? Like, that just seems so empty to me. And to me, that says he is absolutely not ready for love. He is just on the hunt. He is just on the hunt for whoever might tickle his fancy or whatever. Tori says Sabrina and Joy. So he's looking to mess up somebody's kidneys or their uterus or something. And Clifton says Dakia. Now they didn't show Clifton saying Joy, which I assume he did, but maybe he didn't because maybe he's trying not to be too stuck on her, again, for the sake of the game. And then Wiley said Dakia and Tiffany. So when Tommy asked who weren't they interested in, LaVerne said Sabrina. Paul was like Tiffany. And then it seemed like everybody else was like Tiffany. And Cornelius was just so put off by how she behaved when he answered her question about marriage. Like I know he was never ever going to be interested in that. So then they have the conversations at the end. Wiley said Ace. And I thought that was interesting because I'm like, wow, like Ace seems so cool. I didn't get how anybody would find that they couldn't have a connection with her. But when he went and sat down with her, apparently he learned more about her. And so he told her that the fellas agreed that she is ready to love and that they would just like to see more facets of her. And when she was getting voted toward the bottom, once again, LaVerne is singing her praises, but not listing her as his number one. Strange. I don't know. I'm real annoyed by that if y'all can't tell. Um, so Paul takes Tiffany out and she has an attitude like from jump. Like you could just tell she is not happy about anything. She just got such a nasty attitude. And he's trying to like have conversation with her. And I get that he is kind of awkward himself. So he's not an amazing conversationalist, but he's not rude. Well, he had a little rude moment with Ace the other time, but she was just kind of being rude, in my opinion. And she's just like, ask me this, ask me that, or whatever. So finally, he just tells her, look, we said you're not ready to love. I feel like in that moment, she went full blown psycho. Like, she was like, do I look bothered? No, because I'm not. Honey, you are very bothered. It is very clear. It is very abundantly clear that you are bothered. And she's like, you know what I think it is? It's just jealousy that I wasn't interested in him. Honey, he didn't make the decision on his own. All of the fellas said bye. Like, don't be defensive. Be self-reflective. Ooh. Anyways, yeah, I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. I thought the group dates were fun. Especially the scene with Joy and Tori at the foosball, because just watching Tori hot under the collar was entertaining to me. But anyways, what do you all think about the two new singles, Carmen and Cornelius? What do you think about LaVerne sitting up here talking about aces, all this and all that, but he see Carmen with the big butt and the smile, and all of a sudden she's the one? All right, let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.